Welcome back to the Two Brotherly for Life channel. It's Fatherly and Brotherly here.
And it's only.
Sonly or Brotherly? I think Brotherly.
Yeah, but you are my sonly.
Okay, that's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
Okay.
All right, so today what we're talking about is the modern world and really the social interactions of someone today who's battling with a moral conflict of hearing online that this is what it means to be a man and this is like the prominent way to truly be successful and how there's so many different things that are at risk today. Like for instance, men are not really marrying as much because they see the risk of divorce. But if you look at trying to start a family, the best position for your family and kids is to be in marriage. So it's these scenarios where you understand there's a conflict with the youth, with the men today. The conflict is, what do I do? You're hearing online, oh, do this, do that, but then what is right? There's right and wrong.
Yeah, it's I mean, from religious background, even as a Christian, we were never created to be alone. Even starting from Genesis, it said man was created first.
Yeah.
But it got to a point and said man should not be alone. And God created the woman out of the man. And we are social beings.
We are.
Human beings are social beings.
We are.
So we need people around you. And who can be the closest person you can ever have?
I would say
your
it would be your wife. It would be the mother of your kids.
It would be your spouse.
It would be your spouse.
That is a relationship. So, but we are in a world now. You have to remember how human beings grow. We grew first as farmers, as a hunter-gatherer, where you need a lot of people to survive.
Yeah, you had the group, the community.
You have to have a group.
The men hunted, the women gathered. It was both, but you guys survived together.
Survive.
It was harder to survive as a lone wolf.
To survive alone, will be maybe you are the husband or you're running, you're hunting, you have children, someone's going to. So it was in the beginning very difficult to be alone, to survive alone, the survivor.
Let's think about the basics of you from a genesis point, right? The genesis of a human being is not only when they are inseminated into a woman and become a baby, start formulating, right? When the cells start formulating, the egg and the sperm reach, a baby is being built in the body. But when they are born, think about the vulnerable state they are in. But not only the baby itself, but the mother, the one that produced that baby, is in such a vulnerable state that during this time, this time period we're talking about is before hospitals, before modern society, back in the traditional hunter-gatherer period, you were put in a very vulnerable state where you had to rely on your community. It wasn't only the man, it was also the women of the community. That's what there's a saying, that it takes a village to raise a child, because back in the day, it was literally a village raising the child.
And it's not only about raising, it's even for your own safety. For your own safety, for your own survival, you have to be part of a community. You cannot be alone.
It's dangerous.
But now think of the modern world. The modern world is different. It's quite different.
Very different.
You, either man or woman, can survive alone.
Why is that?
It's economics. The economy is now that you can make, let's not even as a man, as a woman, an educated woman, making money.
I know so many educated women that make crazy money.
You do not, that's what people have to realize. You do not have to be married to have material wealth.
Before you literally have to.
Before the wife, the woman, even in the village, had no land, had nothing, everything was through the man. It was a patrilineal, patriarchal society, where you have everything comes through the man in most societies. But in the modern time now, you do not really need, a woman does not necessarily have to be married to live well, to have a house, to drive a car, to be by herself. So many things he can do by herself, alone. A man too, it's not just woman, a man too does not need a woman to support him, to to be able to live a good life. So you have to be now. So that is what is happening. The mentality that is happening is that, hey, dude, why do I need another person to I can be by myself. I can. A man now says, oh, I can just go and have children. I don't have to. I don't have to have a wife to have to be a father. A woman says, I don't need a husband to be. I don't need a man to be a mother, to have children, and it's happening. So now it's becoming a real problem in the world. In the modern world, it's becoming a real problem. In America, especially here, I see it. They're saying there's alternative now to marriage.
No, the truth is, it's not an alternative. When you think about optimal, the best situation for a family is through marriage. So you have to be very careful who you choose as your partner, but you understand in this day and age, right, there's certain things that were put in place to glorify not being married. To even put them in a position where it starts back, if we're thinking about the black community, it goes back to the Lyndon B. Johnson implementations of his social acts, his social care acts, where it's saying, oh, we'll give you benefits in exchange for not having the man at home. And what that does is create that divide to think that, oh, I can survive because I have this assistance. But it's not the true assistance. The assistance of a man is not even down to just his monetary and material wealth. It's down to his influence, his discipline, and ability to instill listening. To children, when you look at children, what they react to, when the mother reactive, yeah, they might listen for a little bit, but it's truly the dad that instills the fear to say, listen, this is right from wrong. When I think back to you, yes, I would be scared when mommy would get mad at me, but I would still be playing. But when you got mad, when he quivered his lip, this is what he would do when he get mad. He'd go like this, like that, right? Remember? You don't do it anymore. It's been a long time.
And that scared you?
But it taught me right from wrong. You weren't doing it trying to abuse me. You were doing it trying to train me into right from wrong and what's morally correct, what is not the thing to do. But if you think about our society now, right, we're in a situation where it's causing the deterioration of the society. Because if we're not together, we're at a point where we're not even replacing the population of people, not even the population, the quantity of people dying is not being replaced by the quantity of people being born. If we're not being able to replace society, it literally crumbles.
Yeah, I think it's even
scary.
For me, there are really different levels of it. It's really, I mean, some people are scared.
It's scary to me.
Of marriage.
Yeah. A lot of men are.
A lot of men are. But if you have ever been in a successful relationship, a good marriage, you really will say that this is the best.
I think it's the best thing ever.
From my own experience,
it could be the worst thing ever to someone though.
I mean,
I've heard some crazy situations, but go on.
Yeah. From my experience, I mean, I married late and all that. Yeah. I wish I was I feel as if I missed many years of good life.
Wow.
Because it's the best thing. If you are married to the right person.
If you married to the wrong person, you're done. You're done. Yeah. Listen, if you marry the wrong person, you're done.
Yes.
You're cooked. What are you, Daddy?
You are cooked. You are miserable. You are scared You don't want to go home. It's going to affect not only you, it's going to affect your children. It's going to affect everybody around you. So marriage to me, that is one of the best institutions. It's really, to really live a good life, to the emotional, physical, material, community, raising children, marriage is number one. But you, as I said, men have unbelievable responsibility in marriage. So you have to be raised right, okay? So that is also raising children in the family. That's why I always say, listen, be very careful what you do as a father. Yes. The moment you are married, your responsibility is not about yourself.
It's about your unit.
It's about the unit you are creating. It's about your wife, about your children. So be very careful what you do, because any little mistake you make is going to affect that unit. If you commit a sin, the repercussions is not going to be on you of your actions. It's going to influence your children. It's going to influence your wife. It's going to influence everybody.
100%. I agree.
You are raising. So when you get married, when you're in a family, you are raising somebody else. If you have children,
Yeah.
And so, if you don't do the right things, you do not raise that person well, and you commit sins, or you are a drunkard, or you don't come home, you don't provide, you are not a provider, it's going to affect your children.
100%.
And I saw a lot of men who run away from marriage is because of their experience in their families, how they were raised up. If you grew up in a family, a wonderful family, good relationship between your father and your mother, and you and your siblings, you want to replicate it. But if you are miserable in that, your parents are always fighting, are always arguing, there's always argument every other week. You find the family to be toxic. Why you want to do the same thing?
You're going to feel like the same thing will happen if you do the same thing.
A lot of people do not get married because of what happened in their father's family.
What happened in their childhood.
Their childhood.
Yes.
It affects you tremendously.
For the rest of your life, what happens in your childhood does. So I see that.
So if you grew up in a family that is toxic, wow, either you are going to repeat the same thing. There have been studies where you grew up in a family where the father abused the mother physically, you are likely to do the same thing.
I see that pattern. People always say, oh, I don't want to become like my father.
Yes.
But then when they go up and they're like, a little bit older in their 50s and 60s, they look back and they're like, holy shit, I am my father.
Yeah.
You felt the same thing. You told me the same thing. But I even see a lot of similarities between the way you act and the way I act. Because as a kid, you copy and you look into what your father is. But then also, you literally pass down your genetics into me.
Yes.
Parts of your genetics changes the way I think, changes the way I do. It's part of me. I am you.
Yes.
You are me in a sense where you're passing down you into me. And I feel like people don't understand that you cannot say because of this, right? That means it's going to be bad on me. If my father went through this and my parents went through a marriage where they divorced and it was bad, doesn't mean that, because of that it's going to be bad on me. But a lot of people don't understand that first, and they first to see that glimpse, going back into the history, going back into their memory of those bad memories, and they're like, no, I don't want to relive that. I don't want to take the risk.
And this is what you hear about that when you say to be born again. It's not only about religious thing. If you are growing up as a man, you are not born again to be yourself. Everything you're going to do is going to be imitation of your parents. Very, very important. People don't realize this. You, to be a man, you have to be born again. It's not just a religious experience. You have to evolve to be the man you want to be. Because there's going to be many situations in your life growing up. It's not, your parents are not going to be perfect. No. Are you going to be exactly like them, or do you want to be better than them?
You want to be better.
So you want to be better but it's not, it just does not just happen.
It's actions.
It's actions, it's training, is like you are in the church community, is learning from other people's mistakes, even learning from your parents' mistakes, learning from other people, reading stories in the Bible or in the Quran or in anything, in whatever religious or whatever philosophical things. You have to, when you're growing up, to evolve, to be born again, to be that I want to be a better person. That is part of growing up. You can't just say, I don't care. You have to care if you really want to live a good life, because you want to set priorities for your life. How do I want to live? What do I want to do? There are certain things are going to be copying, are just going to come naturally. Like I said, my father was a community man. Yeah. He served his community. It wasn't about the material wealth. I took that from her. Literally, I did not, it was not even intentional, that one. But when I got to a level, I said, listen, I saw the respect my father got. Yeah. It wasn't
gratitude from other people when you give.
And that was what I wanted. So that was I've been in places, I'll never forget. I was in Lagos with probably the most prominent family in the extended Awoshika family. I was sitting in her car, and the wife, it's probably, I don't want to tell her name, but very prominent now, everybody knows her name. And I was sitting next to her, she didn't know. And he was talking about a man, that this man It's unbelievable. He does this, he does that, he helps. And he said that, and one person in the car said, that's his son.
Really?
Yes. He said, this chief you are talking about,
wow.
You know that Banji is his son?
Wow.
How do you think that affects my mind?
Knowing
that that's my father.
Really influence and help his community.
My father is not that he was he was well-to-do, but amazing. He wasn't money or anything. Wow. But the reputation he had was in helping everybody around, family, friends, community. My father wake up in the 6 a.m. doing this, and I was so impressed, either knowingly or unknowingly, it affected my life. And that's why today, I love to give. I'd rather even be doing free things for people than even for the money.
I've seen you give so much. I've seen you give so much to community, the Nigerian community, but not only Nigerian community, just in general. You like to give.
Yes, it's joy. Back. There's joy in giving. You don't
just give back money. You give back your time. He gives back his professional expertise in architecture, designing, to help design buildings for free.
Yeah, that's
You've done it multiple times.
Yes, for community.
Literally, this is the craziest thing to me. Every single Sunday, I go in church and I look around. I'm like, my dad designed this place and he did it for the community. He didn't do this in retrospect of thinking, okay, how can I get money from these people? He did it in thinking, oh, these are my people and I want to help them worship their Lord in a place that is structurally pleasant. Yes. Like, you really did that. Yes. You really did that. It's crazy.
But it's see now. I didn't even intend I was going to worship there. Yeah. But see, I'm worshiping there now.
Worshiping there, but now think about after that, the gratitude you get in your community.
The people have
respect.
Yeah, the people have. Yeah. I mean, the respect they give, the gratitude, all these things, all these honors and all that. Yeah. That is what I want also my children to learn from other people.
I strive for it.
For it's not.
I strive for that.
When you are these material things. How many beds are you going to sleep in?
Just
How
one.
many cars are you going to drive?
Probably one at a time, right?
Yes.
How many cars do you drive at one time?
It's only one.
Exactly.
You are not taking any of this to anywhere.
No, you're not.
What you have is what you have given. People have to realize that. Your wealth is really what you've shared with the world. It's like happiness. It's what joy you give to others. What love you give to others. Those are your worth. That's what you count as worth that people have joined. It's not how much food can you eat?
Not that
to fill your stomach.
Until you get sick. You don't want to be a glutinous pig.
But you can give to food to 1,000 people to feed others.
That's a bar.
Yeah.
That is a bar because you're right.
You can give. How much can you eat yourself? But you can feed million people.
You can feed millions.
Yes, you can feed others. It's the same with love. Wow. How much love? But you can give love to everybody you meet. So that's about life. So a man has to really see it. A man growing up, you have to learn about what you want to be. Where are you growing up? You want to be better than your parents. That's why we have the proverb in Africa, is that you want your children to be greater than you.
How do you say in Yoruba?
How do you say in Yoruba?
How do you say that proverb in Yoruba?
I don't even know the proverb.
Come on.
Yes, you want your children to be greater than you. Yeah. Literally, really. Every man, everybody's children, every person in Africa, is that your dream is to reach your children to be greater than you. That's why you see Nigerians will go crazy about their children. You want
Nigerians
to be more educated. You want to achieve. They will do anything to make their children achieve.
Listen, this man has instilled any possible way that he can into me to make sure I'm educated.
And it's typical for Africans, for Nigerians. It's very typical. Sure. That you want your children to be educated. You know, I would never forget.
Before, I'm sorry, I don't want to interrupt, but I just have to say thank you because of this man, I don't have any student loan debt. If it wasn't for him, I would be in student loan debt, but I don't have any because as my father, you really provided for me, and I thank you so much because think about that. Like when you have that debt looming over you, it's sometimes hard for you to even think, act, do, be. Because you're just always thinking, oh, I owe this amount, right? I thank you for at least getting that off. I'd rather have better debt in the sense of like maybe having equity in a house and real estate than have things I owe to a tuition. No.
my sister, right now. That is how my father was the same thing.
Yeah.
When we were going to school, our school fees was never one day late. My father would sell his land, we do something, we find a way
to make sure
he paid our school fees. And that's where I learned that from. It was that I just have years to learn that, hey, wow, my father, because then my mother never contributed $1, but it was contributing in supporting my father. My father was the one responsible for paying the school fees and all that. And I saw that if my father did that for me, how much less am I going to do for my children?
All right.